Hey everybody, Elizabeth Varian here, and this is the last video for our week. Let me get that moved out of the way. Visualization, the power of imagination, and tonight's video is the techniques and strategies. So going beyond sitting still and imagining is what we're covering. And I just have a handful of strategies because there's so many things if you're thinking visual out there that you really can be doing. So I kind of wanted to cover some of the basics. And ultimately, these techniques and strategies are for triggering visualizing intentions. Other than sitting and meditating and having your moment, not doing it when you're driving unless you're able to, like I am at times. But other things that are visual. And I'm going to tell you, this is kind of the story behind Joyful Living Store. You know, I looked for jewelry and keychains and I was going to say I had something here, but it just left. Jewelry and keychains and necklaces and things that help me to visualize and to bring into remembrance what I'm trying to visualize and to stop and have an emotional moment. And even though they're objects, you know, I told about this necklace, let me get it up here, on how I taught on this necklace that we sell is to remember the heart in the bottle is that some intentions should be held precious. And when I gave this to a friend, visually seeing it, she knew instantly what it was. And as a gift to her, now every time she wears it, she'll remember that some intentions are precious and should be held to herself. So that's kind of the concept behind the Joyful Living Store. If you want to visit there, of course, it's joyfullivingstore.com. But that's not what this video is about specifically, and I'm not going to show various products. But what I am going to show are things that I'm doing, and I actually took things from around my desk and a couple of items that go with this first one that I have ready set to do for home. And what is that? Well, they're pretty frames. Let's see if you can see these that have intentions on them. This one here is last year's focus. I can and I will. I really wanted to get it ingrained into my being that no matter what I set my mind to, I can do. And so I buy these gorgeous frames from places like Marshall's. Here, I'll set that up later. Places like Ross, TJ Maxx, and places like that for like really inexpensive. And then this one is, this here was a photo from me in Key West earlier this year. This is a thinner me photo, and so is this one, but it's basically saying from this back to this, smiling again. And I have that literally right here on my computer. And I see it every day that my focus isn't necessarily on the from. It's shifted to actually to the this, where it's just the smile, the happier me. And I just bought, without remembering or realizing I was doing this video, I just bought 2 more frames just so you can see what I'm doing. And you don't have to be graphics like I am. Like the from to this I did with a mobile app. Everyone can do that with a mobile app. But I got one of these. This one was like $4 and this one's $6. That's not expensive. It's something you can do. And then I have this blown up so you get a concept of it. But this is a Facebook meme. And so there's plenty more where that came from. Yay! So if you take this and you shrink it down, or you have a printing program and you have it this size and you put it in the frame, then you've got an affirmation that goes along with your intention, and it's beautifully framed so it catches your attention. That helps me to remember what I'm focusing on. And I have signs all over my house and all over my office, things to remember. And Facebook memes are so easy. You don't have to be graphically, gifted. You can find one you like and print them off, or go to Pinterest and find them there and download them and print them in the size that you need. There's various programs. Now, I know graphics, so I have Photoshop, but there's a lot of various programs where you can size it down. Just cut it out and put it in the beautiful frame, and then have it at your office on the desk. If you're allowed, have it at home on your dresser, in your bathroom, on a mantle or a shelf, somewhere where you're going to be visually looking at it daily. And of course, make sure it's positive, right? And make sure that it's right in line with your intentions. So I just mentioned Pinterest, vision boards, and I didn't bring mine with me, but I did where I went to a party, and they called it manifesting boards. So that was done by actually one of our members, Tasha Chan. She does these manifesting board parties. So you can look her up and connect with her if you'd like to have one. But vision boards, intention boards, manifesting boards, it's basically getting visuals of what it is you're trying to intend, or what your intentions are. So I have my double heart symbol in the romance section. I have actually the word 60K per month in the money section. I've broken down what my goals are that I'd like for my various projects. I want to create getting out more. Actually, I have been creating getting out more with friends. So I had photos from past with friends so that I look forward going forward with friends. So you break down exactly what it is, get the magazines out, or I went on the internet and printed them out and then took a glue stick to it. And there's various ways that you can do it. I bought these cork squares. At one point, I had a whole wall that I used. Another point, I only had a small portion, so I did like 3 of them. And then you don't have to put holes in your wall. You can get those command strips for picture frames and put on the back of these square cork boards. You can get them at Walgreens, or Walmart, or any of those places for really cheap. And then use the command strips and put them on the wall, and you can design them. And you can put pictures up on it. I do that. I have them already up like that. And when you see it, put it in a place where you can see it, and then you have your vision board. If you're more digitally inclined, you can go to Pinterest and create a board and pin images there. Just make sure you visit it to look at it, because it's not a good visual strategy if you're not actually visually seeing it. I'm not visiting Pinterest daily to my own board, so that doesn't work for me. The cork board is what I have, as well as the one from the manifesting party. I have that one in on my bedroom table where I write out my intentions. So vision boards are phenomenal. And I have stood in a house looking at a vision board with that house on it for a friend of mine. Everything she had on it was in the house. She's like, you're standing right where it is. And it was amazing. So vision boards do work as long as you're visually seeing them and you believe them, and you have a date set is very good too. So for people wanting to manifest money, I don't know if you saw The Secret or have seen ever a blank money from the Bank of the Universe check. I don't have one. I don't need to create one. You can simply go out online and type in, blank check from Bank of the Universe or Law of Attraction blank check. They're everywhere. You print it off, you put your name in the to, and you put the dollar amount, you fill it out, and it's signed the universe, and you have a date on it as to when you're trying to manifest it. Jim Carrey is very well known, not just as a comedian and an actor, but in the manifesting world for having written himself a check for a very specific amount money for millions. And it was in the memo he put in there, paid for services rendered for a movie. Okay. And he actually made that in a movie, and he talks about it in a lot of videos. If you go out and look on YouTube, just type in Jim Carrey writes himself a check, or a check for millions. And so if you're trying to manifest money by a certain time, go and download those blank checks and then write it out and put a memo in there, services rendered, just because, whatever you would like to do. I'm going to keep just going through these quickly. Losing weight. What I did to start losing weight, and if you ever see any photos of me doing this selfie in the bathroom mirror, you'll see my little "You are beautiful" sign. And that's pretty much it, because you have to feel beautiful and love yourself to truly start losing that weight. Feel it now before you lose it. And so if you put a sign, "You are beautiful, handsome, gorgeous," on the mirror, so that when you're looking at the mirror, you see it right there. The other thing is, I have a rug. I specifically went and looked on Amazon. It's one of those bath mats, and it says "Hello, gorgeous." And it just makes me feel beautiful every time I see it. It's right at my entryway. I don't use it for when I get out of the shower. I use it right as I enter my master bathroom. Every morning I see it. Every night when I'm going to bed, I see it. So, after go to the bathroom and then go to bed. But that "Hello, gorgeous" just kind of seeks in, where mentally and consciously you may be triggered by it, but it really just starts going deep down. Years ago, when I was 19, so we're talking a lot of years ago, we are talking 34 years ago, almost 35 years ago, I worked for a chiropractor. And this was the very first time I had ever heard of visualization and to create something out of the blue, to make something happen. I didn't have the words manifestation, law of attraction, law of creation, law of allowing. I just knew I was told to do this, so I did it. And it worked every time. So if you're in a coaching business, or a business where you have appointments, so like my beauty, I should keep this out so you can see what Debbie's handiwork. So if you're setting appointments for hair, you're setting appointments for makeup appointments, fitness appointments, doctor's offices, anything with an appointment book. I call this Dr. Cameron's appointment book, because that was his name. And basically, as a 19-year-old, you see that the appointment book is hardly there for the next day. So what do I ask? Well, do you really need me to come in? Oh, yes, he says. You're going to help me. We're going to fill it in. Well, of course, the 19-year-old doesn't want to come in, but that's okay. We'll set aside how I thought when I was 19. He basically said when his dad ran the business and his mother was in charge of the books, what his mother did was she would look at the different blank appointments and see them visually filled in. And then she would forget about it and go on her way. Well, right there just sums up, visualization. Now, the creation part of it is the actual stating that you're going to do this. You're not stating, I want this many done or whatever. You're saying ahead of time, I want to fill in the day, whether it's consciously, subconsciously. And then visually, you look at each of the appointment slots and visualize them filled in. By the end of the day, every slot was not only filled in, but he was double booked in a couple spots. Every time we had that, I followed those instructions and it never failed. It always worked. Now, did I keep going back and looking at the book going, is it working yet? Is it working yet? No, I just did it once and I went about, and then calls came in, people stopped in, various things would happen. So I call that Dr. Cameron's appointment book. So if you have an appointment book, visualize it filled in. Massage therapists. I'm trying to think of who's on here that would have appointments. I know we have network marketing people in here. And if I remember when I was in beauty control, you had the 3x3x3. Set 3 appointments, talk to 3 people about the opportunity, and hold 3 parties. Beauty control at that time was spa parties. So, if you're doing the 3 plus 3 plus 3 each week, then the setting 3 appointments, have your days that you set appointments and, that you want to fill in appointments to talk to someone, about. It's setting appointments for a party. So visualize the days you want the party and have those set in your mind and see them on the calendar as full. Hopefully that makes sense. Takes me a while because I did that many decades ago. No need to ask me. I don't need another business, but 3 plus 3 plus 3 was the beauty control standard. So if you're going to set 3 appointments ahead, look at your calendar and what days would you like to hold a party, if you do parties or the gathering for the network marketing. What 3 days do you want to be talking to people about, the opportunity? Things like that. You can use that appointment setting visualization. Now, for us computer geeks, and actually everybody, because everybody has a phone, you can now go digital with all your visuals, not just Pinterest, but your phone. I don't know if mine is still charged up. On your phone, you have your home screen, and then you have your background. So you can go in and set them to be 2 different things. Now I have this set to a wallpaper that shifts, and that's my 2 hearts. And what that says is obstacles are shifting, all intentions are manifesting. I created that the day after Thanksgiving when I had a major shift. So you can set your mobile phone wallpaper and login screen differently to be the visuals. And you're always on your phone. I know you are. And then also your computer desktop. I have my hearts on my computer desktop. I can change it out to be whatever I want. There's a program that you can install that I'm not going to show you how to do because I don't want anyone messing up their computers. But if you are so endeavor, you can change your login screen, which I did. So when I go to log into my computer, I see it. And I started doing this when I manifested my 30 days in Key West. I made my background Key West, and I made it change to various pictures. Pictures of the house that I was going to stay in, Key West photos, the southernmost point image, the Welcome to Key West sign. And then when you logged in, I saw the Welcome to Key West sign. On my phone and everything was everything Key West. So that's what I did for visualization with the digital. And then last but not least, if you go back to last week's law of creation work for setting intentions, in the techniques and strategies video, every little thing that I gave you, if you visualize while you're doing those, that's visualization. So you kind of tie in the work from last week. So this is just a handful of things that you can do. You're going to go beyond the sitting still and visualizing it. You can start adding more images in your surrounding area. You can buy the jewelry that helps remind you of things, or actually this one is probably better. You can find those affirmation items that will help you. You can get beautiful frames and for very inexpensive. Print off some memes from Facebook that are positive. You can go to our Live Joy Today page, and I bet you can find some really great memes that Jamie has created there, or she or May Jane has shared. So this is how you can now take visualization to a whole new level. Alrighty, next week I haven't decided, but I'm going between 2 topics, so I won't announce it yet until I make a solid decision. Until then, happy manifesting, and make sure you really are a joyful manifester. Bye.